Good morning. Here we want to study about the narrowband noise and the representation of narrowband noise in terms of in-phase and the quadrature component. So in previous session we have seen about the narrowband noise, that is nothing but when we are supposed to talk about the narrowband noise, at that time we can say if the bandwidth of the band limited noise is relatively small as compared to the carrier frequency, we can refer that as a narrowband noise. It means what? When we will talk about the communication system, at that time we are supposed to deal with the band limiting filtering signal. So when we are supposed to deal with the band pass filtering of signal, at that time we can say we are supposed to shift wideband noise into a band limited noise. It means what? We are supposed to shape that noise in some limited band. So if we are saying the bandwidth of the band limited noise, at that time we are supposed to limit that band into a some point. It means what? Here we are limiting that. We are shaping that noise into a band limited noise. वाइड बैंड नॉइज को हम क्या कर रहे हैं? शेप करके बैंड लिमिटेड नॉइज में कन्वर्ट कर रहे हैं. At that time we can say its bandwidth will also less as compared to the carrier frequency. So here we are saying that noise as the narrowband noise. And when we are supposed to talk for narrowband noise, at that time we can derive its power spectral density and the autocorrelation functions. And here we are talking about the narrowband. Narrowband we are denoting by letter N. So we can say power spectral density of narrowband noise as a Gn of f, or you can say Sn of f. We can denote by letter G or by capital S. Because if you see in your books, in some books they have denoting by letter G, in some they are denoting by S. So it depends on you. So here we are saying about the power spectral density of the narrowband noise. That is nothing but Gn of f. And the autocorrelation function of the narrowband noise. Autocorrelations we are denoting by capital R. But we are talking here about the narrowband. So we can say R of N of tau. That is nothing but autocorrelation function of the narrowband noise. And we can use them to analyze the performance of the linear system. So when we are supposed to deal with the multiplication, mixing, which is non-linear operation, at that time system analysis becomes difficult, and in that case we can take narrowband noise as n of t equal to x of t cos of 2 pi fct minus y of t sin 2 pi fct. So here we are saying fc as the carrier frequency, and we are saying narrowband noise will have the frequency, narrowband noise that will have the bandwidth that is nothing but small as compared to the carrier frequency. So here we are saying if we are talking about the non-linear system, at that time it is difficult to analyze the system. So we can take their equation as n of t equal to x of t cos of 2 pi fct minus y of t sin 2 pi fct. So here we are taking fc as the carrier frequency. That will be within the band occupied by the noise. So if we are taking x of t as a in-phase component and y of t as a quadrature component, so we can say x of t and y of t that are nothing but quadrature component, or you can take ni of t and nq of t. That are the quadrature component of the random noise, narrowband noise, n of t. So we can take its Hilbert transform of the narrowband noise as n bar of t, that will be equal to Hilbert of narrowband noise n of t, that will be equal to x of t sin 2 pi fct plus y of t cos 2 pi fct. So if you want to see the proof for that Hilbert transform of the narrowband noise, you can see here. When we are taking the narrowband noise as the n of t, we can take its Fourier transform as n of f equal to 1 by t x of f minus fc plus 1 by 2 x of f plus fc plus 1 by 2. Now we are supposed to take quadrature component. So that is nothing but complex. So 1 by 2 j of y of f minus fc minus 1 by 2 j of y of f plus fc. So here we can say let n bar f, that is nothing but the Fourier transform of narrowband noise n of t. So in the frequency domain you will get n of f that will be equal to n of f minus j sg sine of f. So we can simply multiply all possible frequency components n of f by minus j and all negative frequency components by of n of f by j. So here you will get that as n of f equations. So here when we are supposed to calculate its Fourier transform, at that time you can take n of f that will be equal to minus j 1 by 2, because when we are talking we can say we can simply multiply all positive frequency component by minus j and all negative component by plus j. So we are doing only this. We are multiplying here negative component by plus j and positive component by minus j. At that time you will get its inverse Fourier transform that will be as x of t sine 2 pi fct plus y of t cos 2 pi fct. So here we can say the quadrature component x of t and y of t, that can be derived as x of t we can derive as n of t cos 2 pi fct plus n cap sine 2 pi fct, and y of t we can take as n of t cos 2 pi fct minus n cap n of t sine 2 pi fct. So here we can say if the narrowband noise g of t, at that time its quadrature component x of t and y of t that can be obtained by using the arrangement in equations 28.2. It means what? Here we can take its Hilbert transform as, and if you want to see, you can see here the generation of quadrature component of n of t, but diagram is not given here, but in previous session we have seen. Just wait, I will show you. So here you can see the diagram. Already these concepts and this diagram we have seen, but here instead of x of t and y of t, the quadrature components, here we are using n I of t and n q of t. You can take any letter. So here we are supposed to see some properties for the narrowband noise. So here we can say its mean will be equal to 0. So if we are saying about the x of t and y of t, these are the quadrature component of the narrowband noise n of t. That time you can say x of t and y of t or ni of t and nq of t. Both will have some following properties, like its mean will be equal to 0. So you can take e of x of t, y of t that will be equal to 0. It means you can say x of t and y of t are uncorrelated with each other. X of t and y of t have the same mean and variance as that of narrowband noise n of t. If we are saying n of t, the narrowband noise, it is as a Gaussian. At that time we can say x of t and y of t both will also as a Gaussian. If we are saying n of t is stationary, at that time both g of t and y of t both will have also stationary. Another we can say if x of t and y of t will have the spectral density, at that time both will have identical or the same spectral density, and that will be related to the power spectral density of the narrowband noise n of t. So you can take that as S Ni of f equal to S NQ of f, or you can take, here we are denoting by letter x of t, y of t, and we are denoting power spectral density by letter G. So you can take G x of f, that will be equal to G y of f, that will be equal to, it will depend on the power spectral density of the narrow band noise n of t. So we can take that as Gn of f minus fc plus Gn of f plus fc, only for its bandwidth that will be in between. You can take fc minus 0.5 bandwidth, that will be less than f, and that will be less than fc plus 0.5 b. So here we are saying b is nothing but the bandwidth of the narrow band noise. So here we can see the proof for that. So if we are saying about, you will require here the power spectral density of the both quadrature component x of t and y of t, both will be equal, and that will depend on the power spectral density of the noise, narrow band noise n of t. So we are taking g x of f, that will be equal to g y of f, that will be equal to g n of f minus fc plus g n of f plus fc. So here we can calculate that as, so if we are saying that equation as the key that will enable us to calculate the effect of noise on the amplitude modulation and the frequency modulation system, at that time we can say it implies that power spectral density of the quadrature component x of t and y of t can be found by shifting the positive portion and negative portion of Gn of f to the zero frequency and adding to the Gx of f and Gy of f. So we can see here about that equations, how we will get. So how we are supposed to get Gx of f, that will be equal to Gy of f, that will be equal to Gn f minus fc plus Gn f plus fc. So here we can say, in the special case where we are saying Gn of f, that is the symmetrical about the carrier frequency, at that time positive and negative frequency contributions are shifted to the zero frequency and we can add them. So we can take Gx of f, that will be equal to Gy of f, that will be equal to 2Gn f minus fc or equal to 2Gn f plus fc. So we can say the power spectral density of the narrow band Gaussian noise of the variance sigma square and power n is Gn of f, that will be equal to n by 2 1 upon square root of 2 pi sigma square of E. So here we can say fc is the carrier frequency within the band occupied by noise, and we can say its power spectral density of the quadrature component of noise can be taken as Gx of f equal to Gy of f, that will be equal to 2Gn of f plus fc, that will be equal to n into 1 upon square root of 2 pi sigma square into e to the power minus f square upon 2 sigma square. So here we can say, when we are supposed to talk about the narrow band noise, at that time we can see performance of the binary FSK. So if we are saying about the synchronous detector of the binary FSK, at that time we can say there is a presence of additive voice Gaussian noise. This concept we have seen when we have seen about the Gaussian noise. At that time we have seen white noise, we have seen AWGN, that is nothing but additive white Gaussian noise. So here we can say, when we are saying synchronous detector of the binary FSK, at that time in the presence of additive white Gaussian noise, we can take receive signal as R of t equal to A of cos 2 pi fct plus Wt. So here we are taking A is constant and fc1 is nothing but it is the carrier frequency if one has been sent, and the signal at the output of band pass filter of center frequency fc1 and fc2 are, we can take its signal at the output of the band pass filter. We can take as R1 of t that will be equal to a cos 2 pi fc t plus n1 of t. So we can say you will get here R2 of t that will be equal to n2 of t. So we can say here you will get n1 of t that will be equal to x1 cos 2 pi fc1 t minus y1 sin 2 pi fc1 t, and n2 of t that is nothing but x2 of t cos 2 pi fc2 t minus y2 of t sin 2 pi f2 of t. So we can say these are the narrow band noise, and with appropriate design of the low pass filter and sampling period, you will get the sampled output signal that will be taken as VO of 1 that will be equal to A plus x1 and V of O of 2 that will be equal to x2. So here you will get V equal to A plus in bracket x1 minus x2. So here we are saying x1 and x2 are the statistically independent Gaussian random variable with zero mean and fixed variance. So here you will get sigma square variance that will be equal to n, where n is the power of the random variable. So we can say it can be seen that one of the detector has signal plus noise and other detector will be only noisy. So we can say when fc2 is the carrier frequency employed for sending a 0, you will get the signal, the received signal that will be equal to R of t will be equal to A cos 2 pi fc2t plus wt. So it can be shown that you will get V equal to minus A plus x1 minus x2. So here we are saying you will get mean that is nothing but E of x1 minus x2 square equal to E of x1 square. You are having the equations 2E x1 x2 square plus E x2 square. So you can take that will be equal to E of x1 square plus E of x2 square. That will be equal to sigma square sigma square. So you will get total variance sigma 1 square that is nothing but equal to 2 sigma square. So we can say the two distributions of V you will get as, and you can calculate its conditional probability density functions. When we are calculating the conditional probability density functions of V, assuming a 0 is sent, you can take that as f of V by 0 that will be equal to, you can calculate like this equation. So here we are saying the probability of error given a 0 is sent. So you will get that probability of error when we are sending 0. At that time, you will get probability of E of 0. That will be equal to integration 0 to infinite f of V by 0 dV. So if you want to calculate, you can calculate like this. So here when we will talk about the probability of error when it will send 1, you can calculate P of E1. That will be equal to integration minus infinite to 0 upon 1 upon square root of 2 pi sigma t square E to the power minus V minus A square upon 2 sigma t square dV. So here we can say the P0 be the probability of sending 0. P1 is the probability of sending 1. For equally likely transmission of binary signal, you will get that probability P of 0 equal to P of n, that will be equal to 1 by 2. So you will get 0.5. So you can say the average probability error will be P of E equal to P of 0, P of E of 0 plus P1, P of E of 1. So you will get that will be equal to P of E of 0. So here when you are calculating its value, you will get these equations actually not needed, only we are supposed to see for the understanding purpose. You will have the question like explain the narrowband noise and the representation of narrowband noise. So at that time you are supposed to take narrowband noise, we are denoting by letter N of t. Sometimes they will ask explain the some properties for the quadrature component of the narrowband noise. At that time you are supposed to understand which properties we are supposed to take. These are x of t, y of t are uncorrelated. It means its mean will be 0. If n of t is Gaussian, at that time x of t, y of t also as Gaussian. If n of t is stationary, both will also stationary, and both will have the same power spectral density. It means what? X of t, y of t both will have the same power spectral density, and it will depend on the power spectral density of the narrow band noise, n of t. So here we can see that these equations how we will get. Here we have seen about the narrow band noise, and if we are using that approach to derive the average probability of error for the BSK and BPSK, at that time we can say BSK system. In the BASK system, the synchronous detector output consists of signal A plus noise or a noise alone, and in the BPSK system, the synchronous detector output consists of polar signal plus minus A plus noise. So you will get result as follows. Here we have finished about the narrow band noise. Remaining we will see in the next session. Thank you.